Hey YouTube, I want to revisit our Treasure Island build. In this video, I think we're really going to start to work on the framing and kind of rock placement around the skull cave in that one area of the island. I've got a couple of images I created with Midjourney, really cool AI tool on Discord. If you haven't played around with it already, highly recommend. You probably get a free trial at first, and then I think that they'll charge you after a while or after you run out of credits. But yeah, something like this here. I really like the idea of this skull embedded into the side of a cliff. I know these are kind of over water, but I'm thinking this will be obviously be on that elevated piece of land. We'll probably embed it in, so we'll have to build up the surrounding cliff face that we've already started to work on. We'll obviously have, I think, this entrance through the mouth of the skull, and then obviously looking right above you, you'll see, the two eyes and the nose, or kind of some of the other features here as we'll build this out. Um, Thought that was really cool. I also got this as well. These are obviously not as much on the realism side, but you will see kind of this mound of land overgrown with vines and trees and other plant life. Um, kind of put some wax candles in here to kind of illuminate the area. But, this skull is kind of embedded into the side of that. So that's, I think, again, as we'll maybe get a boat, we'll kind of dock it under, it'll be kind of like almost shipwrecked on that flatter piece, and then you'll look up and you'll see this embedded into the side of that cliff face, and then from there probably build off a little bit more of the surrounding bits of the island. But yeah, that's my idea. I think it'll come out really, really cool. I've got a couple ideas for how I want to go about building this from the basic box that we have now. But with that being said, let's jump into the build. So, over here in the build, and honestly, not a lot's changed since kind of where we last left this. If you remember, we did add some grass, some plant life, a few more rock structures, kind of showed off the rock edge around the back of that, kind of where that structure is right now and where that skull caves is going to go. I did resized it a little bit, and then I removed the side walls and the back and the top of that. So I really like kind of how big that is right now and where that's centered at. If we kind of think about shipwrecking here, and those plants are a little tall, so I might need to come back here and resize some of that. Yeah, that's definitely gonna have to be resized a little bit. Don't want them all to be that big, but looking up there, I think that's ideal. Of course, we'll build the skull structure, and then we'll kind of encase it inside of a little, more rocks and, so, kind of what we have going on right now with the cliffside, or around where that structure currently sits at. But that looks good. So, this is kind of our starting point here. Of course, that's definitely not what we want this skull cave to look like. That is just our starting almost block of marble that we're going to build this out of. So, I think in order to build the skull, what we need to do is, well, we need to frame it into place. And I'm kind of going back, I think where I'm going to start to do this is going back to some of I'm kind of thinking about, if, comment if you maybe remember this from your childhood, but the old superhero drawing books from like the Scholastic Book Fair, where it had very generic superheroes. And remember, in order to actually draw the superhero, you would have to frame the face with basic geometry. So let's look at our starter content. And I think I have an idea for how I'm going to go about doing this. So, again, we'll jump in starter content, architecture, and grab one of these like kind of column pieces. And let's first, it's kind of like that. We'll kind of pull that back to maybe somewhere about there. Yeah, pretty close to the edge. I like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. We can expand it ever so slightly. That's pretty good. Set my camera down a little bit. Yeah, that's not bad. Move it forward so it's not intersecting. And then what we'll need to do, I think we're going to kind of make a base, almost like a three-pronged tripod that holds up a spherical shape that is going to be the foundation, kind of like our basic geometry, but foundation for the skull. So let's raise that all the way up. Yeah, it's a little bit more. About there. That's good. Then we will duplicate that, move one over here. Let's go ahead and move that up to about here, and we'll turn it. And then maybe we'll do one more. And for now, that'll just sit in the middle, but we'll move this out of the way. And then from here, I think let's kind of turn that like that. This needs to get out of the way. We're going to put you over here for now. Actually, we don't really need that one just yet. But we do need these to play around with. So I think that obviously needs to be a lot taller. Let's something like that angle. Then we can take this guy, do the same. First, let's realign that a little bit better. Just like that. And I think what we can do is, actually, let's delete that one. Let's control duplicate. Nope. Didn't realize I was gonna, I should be able to do this if I, there we go. Close enough. And then we shall, oh, nope. I do need, come on. Pull that. It's a little tricky. Hmm. Yeah, it's not so bad. Yeah, it's not so bad at all. Um, okay. Let's delete all of this. I don't think we will need that anymore. Let's maybe do one more of these. And do it about 90 or so. Doesn't need to be perfect, but we do want to get at least a good kind of base going and something just like that. That's pretty good. Hmm. Yeah, it's getting close. So now I think what we'll do is let's grab a couple of the spheres, not spheres, but circles, to try to put some together to make a sphere. So we'll kind of piece that just about there. That's getting close. Let's raise that up to maybe here. And then hmm. About there is where it kind of intersects. Then let's broaden that out. It's pretty massive, actually. Could perhaps scale that down a little bit, I think. Actually, that's not so bad. But yeah, we do need to, because eventually what we're going to do is obviously flat circle, vertical, and one for the other last dimension. And then we'll kind of apply rocks and like eye hole, mouth kind of come down here, I think. Um, and then I'm going to have these, basically something coming up and then going down at maybe not a 90, but it'll be more of a steep drop off, and the rocks will come up around the side. Rocks kind of come up, skull right here. That makes sense. Makes sense in my mind. Eventually, I'll get there in the engine, and it'll all kind of come together here. So yeah, it's about good. We'll shorten that down a little bit. Maybe there. Oops, too much. So let's, again, pull that in ever so slightly. So for anyone out there watching, I actually just got caught up on Shogun on Hulu, and it's really got me wanting to buy I've seen some large, I mean, almost, I think like $500 asset packs, but it'll be like an older Japanese architectural kind of city. Really has got me looking at one of those packs. I think as the next build that we might end up doing. Let's extend that out just a. Oh, where you at? Come on. Perfect. Okay, that's looking better. So now let's duplicate, and then we'll turn 1 to be 90. There we go. And then, so that's vertical. What's the last way we need to do this? Yes. Control duplicate. No, we need a 90. There we go. Oh, come on, where's that at? That's fine. Let's, well, let me think about this. So that's there. If I were to come in here, just curious because we're probably going to want to make this a little, not obviously spherical. You know, we'll need to be not a perfect sphere, almost like a little bit more oval in shape, a little bit more elongated. Just wondering by kind of like how much. But I think that's starting to come together nicely. Let's come back here and look at it. And ta-da. Yeah, maybe a little tall, but could probably shrink it a little bit. But I think that's going to look good. I think that's going to look really good. See, my only issue is that, you know, we're going to put some pilings coming straight down, right? And then the rock cliffs going straight up the side of that. I do want like a real, almost like grass and shrubs or the hairline of the skull, but just overgrown on the top. But we don't want a cone head. We don't want so much on the top there, I think. So we'll take this one down. Maybe I can do it even from back here. Oh, come on. Oh, it's going. Pull that one in. Interesting. It's right about there. Right about there. Yeah, that'll be pretty good. Again, the circles don't have to stay in there, obviously. This is just to get the formation of what we're kind of looking for here. So I think that's a good start. So, oops, nope. That, yeah, okay. Um, let's maybe do control duplicate. And we shall somewhere about there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, let's duplicate that, and we will move this one over here. What am I doing? Yeah, this is a little tricky. It's kind of like we're building like a wire mesh, like the skeleton for this, before we just go and put on all the rocks at random. There we go, roughly about there. Okay. I think it'll be easier if I just duplicate this. There we go. Something about like that. I like that. All right. That's kind of interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's interesting. So I think now what we'll do is let's merge all these together. Wait for the save. All right. Tools. What am I looking for? Oh, there it is. Merge actors. Merge actors. Starter content. Nope, put this in my working folder. That's map. And then let's call this island skeleton. Great. So let's leave that there. Let's come down here. Just kind of workshop this a little bit. Go ahead and we'll raise that up. That's an ugly looking thing, but I'm trying to think, if how are we going to build the eyes? So not that one. Let's look at our inspiration again. I don't know if I really want to do like an entrance, it's probably not going to be an exact skull. I know that much. Let's kind of work with what I got. I'll probably end up using rocks to make more of the, the mental picture, the mental idea of a skull. It'll just kind of heavily be inferred. But I think the eyes and the nose with an ending just around the top teeth, kind of part of the jaw there, skull there. That's really going to be the best way. So perhaps let's just start above the eyes, figure out a way to build two eyeballs and kind of go from there. And I think maybe we'll start kind of trying to frame in, I guess, two large circles there. So so yeah, obviously circle here, kind of the middle bit is where we actually end up creating the kind of the center of the nose and build out from there. But let's look at our starter content. Architecture again. I think what we'll do to start. Yeah, so let's take this. Let's lay it down flat. All the way, something like that. First, let's bring it back. So I hope everyone's having a great start to their week. Got a couple maybe small successes today. My new success is gonna be to try to do more uploads here, I think. Got a couple ideas for some new builds coming up here, so I'm really excited to start. So other than that, normal work week for me. So but yeah, let's start there. That'll be kind of the top of the brow. Move that forward, say about there. And then perhaps we can duplicate that. Move it down for the bottom. About there, so. So I think what we'll look to do is we'll maybe frame this out a little bit more, and then we'll try to get every rock mesh that we can find from Quixel Bridge. Try to import those, and really I think that's going to be where the finesse of this will have to come into play a little bit more. Let's use more of the skull, so I'll raise this up a little bit, maybe about there. But Yeah, we're really going to have to try to find a whole bunch of rocks, I think, and just kind of that'll be part of the part of the art to this is just placing a bunch of rocks in here and building out something to the best of our ability. But I'm going to try to frame this in a little bit more, and then we'll kind of merge that one more time, and think that'll be as good as we'll get, at least with this piece of it. Oh, no. So I want to leave that. Let's duplicate, raise it up. About there. Something like that. Like that. That's pretty good. And then let's, nope, we actually need another circle. Let's expand that. Yep, just about like that. That could be a little bit bigger. Perfect. Okay. So we know where the eyes are going to start, the eye holes. We know that we just need to kind of enclose this around here. We can obviously put up more shapes to kind of be a surface. Then we know where we want to start it. I think perhaps frame the eye holes. From there, we'll have to have an opening here, but build, I think, like the actual. Can I sit up here? Play from up here, I mean. Ah, no, I can't. Darn it. It's fine. Whoops. Yep, so we know what we'll need to do. Frame the eye holes in, build, like we just showed, kind of the bit of the nose that starts to kind of peek out. We'll obviously want to have some kind of rock that makes that curvature come up and that'll all of this might be the challenging part, I think, when we look to kind of work with what we've got to build this facial structure here, right? And then perhaps building out kind of this where it kind of concaves in and then goes back out to the cheekbone. As we kind of build this out, we know where the opening is going to be. We know it's probably going to need to come out to say about, maybe not quite to here, but somewhere at this point. So I think what we can even do is move that forward to like about there. Yeah, kind of looks like I don't even know what that looks like. But yeah, so let's jump in. We'll start to get as many rock meshes as we can, and then we'll come back and kind of start to putting this all together. Thanks. So I got a bunch of meshes downloaded from Quixel Bridge. I want to kind of go through some of these. As you can see, I got a lot. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. More than 20. I'm not going to count all these. But some of these I already had for like, I think there was like a starfish from the foliage that I put down. But um, yeah, I went through there. I literally just typed in rocks and kind of started to go crazy with downloading. And we gotta, I'll show some of the collections here, but the sandstone, which will show this in the actual build in just a moment, but kind of a lighter colored rock. This continues down here, more sandstone, of course, like cliffside sandstone. And then you have beach cliff, which I guess is that Martian kind of soil rock. Um, so I'm kind of playing around with both of these again. The first time, really just trying to put meshes, almost kind of like building a paper mache here. I feel like is what I'm doing. Um, but yeah, you'll see. We got a few of these out here in the world. Just kind of have a little staging area up in the clouds. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these look really good coming from Quixel Bridge. As you can imagine, you can almost stitch these together to really make anything for the purposes of what we're doing. We're kind of making this cave, skull, treasure, cove cave. Kind of like I imagine this is like the last level in like a game or, like a secret boss arena or something like that. But, you could do a lot with these. So I'd highly recommend checking that out. But what I've been working on in the background is this over here. Got a few more there. But you'll see we've kind of started to apply some stuff. That's my rudimentary skull face there. Again, using some of the orange rocks, and then we're also using, the sandstone or I guess beach cliff, and then this is the sandstone. Is that what they called it? Yep, sandstone cliff and beach cliff. But I like that. We're kind of framing in, I think with the sandstone around here, and then I'm trying to find the beach cliff seems to have more pronounced features when you extrude it through the Z coming back at the screen. You seem to have these lines that can really define like a skull, whereas the sandstone seems to be it's better for shallow and kind of filling in, and almost like if you stitch it together to make this blanket that you're laying over the entire um, kind of base design that we have. But obviously you can see we're going to try to build the skull in the middle, and then if we take a peek around the edges, tried to start to fill this in a little bit already, but you'll see we're kind of piece by piece making this surrounding bit here. I think that's about an hour's worth of work right there. But yeah, that's starting to look nice. But I think on the next one we'll look to kind of build this out a lot more. I know I didn't show it in this video, but I am just doing a sort of a silent recording. Um, me just working and recording that, so I'll probably put that in a separate video. If I put it in this video, we'd already be up to like 2 hours long, and I don't think that's really what we want to go for. What I will say, just I'll leave you with kind of a couple helpful tips helpful tips as I was building this out. I noticed, as you can see, like some of these pieces are actually mirrored. If you kind of caught that, they're it's the same piece just mirrored, and it's not me just duplicating it and moving it over. Something I didn't know, you might know this already, but if you duplicate something, just to show this, if you do want to mirror image it, all you have to do is come up here, hit the kind of resizer, just go back the other way, and then turn it. I was struggling to figure that out, and then I accidentally did that, and that helped me a lot. But thought that was kind of interesting there. And I guess another one, just to share while I'm at it, instead of I had been doing this a lot, where I'd to like move something around, I'd grab the arrow and move it along that axis. But what I realized is that based upon that XYZ sort of thing there, you can actually grab the white kind of connector ball right there in the middle. And you can move this piece based upon the XY, the two-dimensional plane that you're looking at on your screen. You can't move it along the Z. This will make sense obviously if you grab it, you can move it to the right, left, up, down. You can kind of start to move it back, and if you do want to kind of access that dimension, well, you just gotta make it part of your XY. So it's kind of like that, where, positioning oneself. But anyways, that has increased my piece placement tenfold. They're doing that, versus having to actually do two separate clicks. I can now access two by clicking in that one particular area, moving it across one plane, repositioning, moving it across another plane. Yeah, save me a lot of time as well. But on the next one, we will look to maybe get this skull cave built out a lot more. I think do some tree placement, some more foliage placement, I still got to do kind of the stairs and the underground area of this as well with how I kind of envision doing that. And yeah, I think maybe another episode or two and we might be really making some progress. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if I should do anything different, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.